beyond the skies. You and I, we're breaking bounds on Baobab.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for today's meeting. We are glad that you all make time to join us for today's session. So welcome everyone. Please welcome you to this session today, and we're really glad to have you. What today's session, we are going to focus on building resilience and how to bounce back from the setbacks. So we're actually very happy, and we are glad that you make this time to join us for today's. This is to officially welcoming you all. Good evening. This is good afternoon to everyone, from every African countries, for everyone who joined us. So we are glad to have you all. Please, I want to hear from you. Please, if you have already joined us, feel free to say hi in the chat box. And even which country are you joining us from? Maybe if you are from Ghana, from Uganda, please feel free to say hi and let us know where you are joining us from. We are glad to have you. Thank you so much. Say Manuel from Ghana, thank you so much for joining us. We are glad to have you today. Please keep telling us where you're joining us from. Really want to hear from you. Yeah. I can see Melada from South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us today. I can see Bonaventure from Kigali. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you. I really want to tell you that, to share with you that this is an online Zoom event. Our title today is Building Resilience, How to Bounce Back from the Setbacks. So we are glad to have you all today, and we are having amazing panelists that are going to share with us their lived experience and the insight regarding and bouncing back from setbacks. We are going to hear from them, and please, I really want you to keep this session very engaging. Feel free to use chat box by sharing your comment, even the question. At the end of this session, we are going to have a few minutes for the key and the session. We are going to respond to many questions as possible if time allows. And thank you so much. By starting, I am Gisele Mjamaria from Rwanda. I am an alumni residence fellow, and I'm also Mastercard Foundation Scholar alumni at FAR Rwanda. It's a pleasure to have you all. I'm going to host this meeting, and I'm not only alone, I'm having an amazing panelists. They are going to take us with different experience and the insight regarding our topic that I have mentioned before. We are having Maripias, and we are also having Diata Akpene. So I'm going to give them a few minutes so that they can introduce themselves. Please, Maripia, if you can hear us, go ahead and say hi and let people know who you are. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marie-Pierre Françoise Evimana. I'm a Mastercard Foundation alumni and Rwanda. I'm also, what else? Yeah, I'm from Rwanda. I live in Kigali. I think that's what I can say for now.
Thank you so much, Maripia. It's a glad to have you. Over to you, Akpene. Please go ahead and say hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Akpene Hoga. I am a Mastercard Foundation Scholar alumni from Carnegie Mellon University, Africa. And I'm currently based in Kigali, but I'm originally from Ghana. So, yeah, it's nice to have you all on the call today. I'm looking forward to the session.
Thank you so much, Akme. Thank you so much for making time to join us. I'm glad to have you. This is a bit introduction about our panelists that we are going to have today. But diving into our today's topic, so we are going to have a couple of questions to our panelists. I will start to Marie-Pierre as well. I have a first question for you. In terms of when it comes to the resilience. So I really want to know, what does resilience means to you?
I guess my internet was somewhat unstable. Wow. So what does resilience mean to me? It's I would say resilience is the ability to adapt yourself to any situation or just recovering from some setbacks, and yeah, that ability or capacity you have when there's something that brings you down, but you just say, no, I don't want to be down. However, just want to I want to keep moving. You have that spirit of keeping moving, and you can also say, like, you keep your eyes to your goals, whatever comes in your way or whatever is going on. So that's what I call resilience. The capacity of adapting yourself to new situations, or to just being flexible. You say, what's not working? What can I change? What can I do better? All that process, all those measures you put into place, all those goals you have, the process that's taking you to achieve the main goal is what I call resilience.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so
Is
much
it
for.
me whose internet is bad, or?
But I can hear you well.
Oh, okay. So thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Akpene, I have the same question for you too. When it comes to the resilience, yes. So, what does resilience means to you?
All right. I think my thoughts align with what Marie-Pierre shared. I think in the attempt not to repeat the same thing she just mentioned, I have a few quotes that I would like to share that I feel in a way represents what I feel around resilience, which also aligns with what has been shared. The first one is by Confucius, and it says that our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. So for me, resilience just represents, your inbuilt ability to be able to bounce back from, setbacks. And even the word setback, I feel, I don't like this setback because it is actually not setting you back. It's preparing you forward. So I think that is what I think resilience represents. The second quote says, the wind does not break a tree that bends. And I think Marie-Pierre mentioned flexibility and being able to withstand, whatever comes. Excuse me. So yeah, these are the two quotes I would say for me represent or make me feel what I think resilience is. Because some things you cannot put logic to, and like a thing like resilience, I feel like it's a thing that is inward. It's inward facing. So yeah, I would say that these quotes represent that for me.
Thank you so much, Dia. That's a very good response. I really loved it. And thank you so much for sharing that. Like this, so much many of us can reflect on that. Like when it comes to the breathing, how do you breathe the inner capacity to reflect to the setbacks? How do you bounce back from different negativity, ups and downs of life? That's more of that. Thank you so much for highlighting that. Uh, Um, Goes back to Marie Pierre. I have the next question for you. Which says that what do you believe are the most important traits to develop resilience? And how can young people start cultivating those traits today?
Thank you. So, like, what are the most important traits to develop resilience? I believe for someone to be resilient, first of all, they need to have that self-awareness. They should know themselves. They should be aware of themselves. Like, what are my qualities? What are my strength, my weakness? And it's not just much of knowing them, it's knowing them and know what can I do? What can I do to improve? What can I do to maintain what I have better, or to maintain my strength as well? And again, that sense of adaptability. Like, how do I adapt myself? Uh let me use an example. For example, Miss Akpene. I don't know if I did pronounce your name so well. I apologize if it's not so. She used to live in Ghana. She's used to the environment there, the weather and everything. But she had to come to for studies in Kigali. The weather is different, food is different, language is different, everything is different. but she had to adapt herself to, to pursue her studies. So that's the adaptability I'm talking about. And again, she's she was aware that she needs education, and again, she adapted herself to the new environment where she came to seek education. And again, it's not enough. You also need to be optimistic. There's no way of having, cultivating the negative thoughts into your mind. Just be positive, believe in yourself, believe in good things that happen. The good things happen. You know, people say we are the product of what we give our minds. When you keep telling your mind that this is not possible, even if I do this, I won't succeed, or what, it's this time that you need to tell your mind something positive, something nice. You know, even when someone encourages you, you love it. You love it most. So there's no point you're seeking someone to encourage you, to tell you that keep moving, and you discourage yourself. No, it's not gonna work. So we need to be optimistic, we need to adapt ourselves, we need to be aware of myself. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What can I do about my weaknesses? And again, it's to to be resilient, you also need to seek support. Sometimes there are things you can't do on your own. Sometimes you need people to speak to. Sometimes you need, you need that circle. So you need support. Isa, I'll say sometimes you feel like I'm the only one who is passing through this, but no, you're not. Believe me, you're not. All of us pass through different things, but we learn, we have experiences. So when you talk to someone, you share with them what you think, they can show you the way. They can probably share with you the experience and say, you know what, this thing has happened to me and I did this A, B, C, D. So I think in your case, you can do this, you can, something like that. I'm pretty sure that the advice you get from them, and also the comfort of saying, yeah, also it's not only me, there was also some other people who passed through this, or we are passing through this, a lot of us. Then from there you can draw a conclusion on, also draw your path and say, so if it's like this, I'm going to do it this way and it will work. Again, you also need to be perseverant. You need to stay committed to your goals. At the end of the day, we all have goals in our lives. We have goals. We have things that we want to achieve later in the future. If you're pursuing your education, there's something you need to that will happen in the end. And if you're working, there's a career that you need to reach in the end of a certain position. Or if you are an entrepreneur, there's something you need to achieve. Say, let's say, probably I wish to be the main distributor of this thing in this country, or whatever. I need to be an inventor of something, or I need to initiate something. So that's what I say. You need to stick to your goals. You need to be perseverance, that you say, these are my goals, whatever happens, I'm going to achieve them. But if I say you need to be perseverance to your goals, again, it's sometimes, people say like, I'm going to stick to my goals. And when you see like there was something else you could do, you don't do it because you say, I have to stick to my goals. No, it doesn't work that way. You might find yourself, if probably I'll say, let me share my example. Sometimes I say that my main goal in the end of the day, I want to invest, to be an investor into real estate. But not today. I can't be an investor in real estate. I can't even build my own house for now. But I'll say I believe that the things I start doing, or the small goals I have, will take me to achieve the bigger goals. So that's what I was saying. You just be flexible in your path that you design, to an extent that the small goals you have, or the small things you do, they will take you to the bigger goal. Those are the traits I can share that I believe they are the main, like, for me, they are the main one to be resilient. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You highlighted a lot of things. I love the way that you say about we are what we are what we feel we have to give our mind. And I love the way that you highlighted the importance of adaptability and also self-awareness, and also the importance of setting the goals and be sure to stick on them. Thank you so much for showing that. Going back to Diata, I have the question for you, also in the context of resilience. So the question is that, so what do you think, or what is important is the resilience in bouncing back from the setback, and how many young people, especially rejection is a common part of their life after university, especially when it comes to the job hunting and business ventures. How can you stay motivated when facing multiple rejections?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that question. Since I think it comes in about two parts, I will take it, I guess, in those parts. But the first one is around how important resilience is in bouncing back. I mean, and the only thing I will say to that is that without resilience, you cannot bounce back. So it's the only like it is the deciding factor between whether or not you're going to let life's challenges and obstacles weigh you down, or whether or not you're going to use it as a learning curve and then use that to propel you forward. So I would say that again, it's what makes or breaks whether or not you will, you will recover from something or not. Um, there's another part to the question that says, around rejection, especially life after university. I mean, I can totally understand, and I can empathize because I have been in, those positions once. I'm still in that position now. Um, you will always get times in your life or phases in your life where what you were planning for, you will not, the things that you were planning to get, you will not have some of them. And it's very normal, it's very natural. And like Marie Pierre said, it's part of like life. And it's important that we are able to um not basically think we are the only ones going through it, right? So the second part of the question says, how can you stay motivated when facing multiple rejections? Again, I'll pick it back on what Marie Pierre said around, you know, being optimistic. I think it's very common for us when we face rejections to basically get into a habit of self pity sometimes, and also negative self talk and negative thoughts. So it's important to spend time with people who remind you of the qualities that you have, people who know that will be honest to you, who will remind you about what you've done, and also help lift your spirits up. Because I think after every what I tell myself whenever I get a rejection is that this is God's way of showing me what I should not be doing, right? Because majority of the time we have plans, and what causes us to feel so hurt after a rejection is because we have built this idea of what we want our futures to look like. And sometimes what you have planned for, what you think you want, might not necessarily be good for you, or might not necessarily be what you need to be focusing on at that particular point in time. So there's something in psychology called reframing. And reframing basically means that being able to not twist, but being able to I'm even still using the word, but being able to redefine or restate what you're going through. So for instance, you applied for jobs, and you did not get selected for the role you wanted. So for you, it's so instead of saying, "Oh, I'm not good enough," all my friends have gotten jobs, I haven't gotten mine yet. Um, a way to reframe that situation is to tell yourself that yes, it is okay to be disappointed, and you are disappointed, but this is an opportunity for you to, rethink the industries you want to work in or the positions you want to work in, and use that as an opportunity. Maybe through the interview process, you learn something about yourself, or through the interview process, you learned that, oh, the position you're actually thinking you want to apply for requires other things, or other certifications. So although you did not get the job, you've been able to gain something from that experience that you will use to prepare yourself better for the future. So I would say that a way to do that, like I mentioned before, optimism and being around people who know you, and allowing them to get you out of the negativity, because there's no way you can do something about um, your life situation if you are wallowing in negative energy. Negative energy will not attract success to you. So you need to first and foremost find a way to get yourself out of it, whether you have a habit of positive self-talking, um, spending time with your loved ones who remind you of your values, and like I mentioned, reframing the situation you're facing. I would say that those are like the three main things that have really been helpful for me personally, when I've gone through difficult times, and I would say I've been able to rise above them. So yeah, that's my answer for that question.
Thank you so much, Dia. You highlighted a lot of things, and I love the things. I love the way that you talked about the importance of surrounding yourself with the positive people who are going to help you along the way, and even the way of you using a rejection as a way to improve, not as a woeful. So thank you so much for highlighting that. So I really loved that. Having the next question to Marifia. I don't know if she's still available. Can you hear me, Marifia?
I'm still around. It's just my video.
So having the next question for you, which says that have you ever turned the setback into opportunity? So can you please share with us for that experience?
I'm sorry. I was saying this is not an easy one, but yes, of course, sometimes we not sometimes, we are always having challenges, and we're always supposed to have solutions and finding answers, of course. So I remember when I began my current work, where I'm working now. So when I was to join, they expected me to be this person that I'm always you they expected me to deliver my work, but again to be like, how do I say? Uh, I'm this person. They expected me to be this person who will be asking everyone, "What do you do? How do we do this?" Like interfering with everything. But it's quite far from how I work, or from my, let's say, what do I say? For my characters. So I like just observing things, analyzing things, and then finding solutions where they're needed, or maintaining the good examples, or the good implementation where we had them. So what they did, they always complained, they were always complaining, but you're not fitting into your position. They were always complaining. But I would say, but I could say, I work. These are the results. So I guess with time they have realizing that. I would say, if I'm this quiet person and I like analyzing, then give me the analytic work. So to everyone now who needs to do a presentation somewhere, or who has some data to analyze, they will bring them to me, because I can sit on the work and work on it. So that's the example just a little example I can give you, that can show you that sometimes the challenges you have, you can think through them and finding answers. So the other thing is, when I graduated, so I graduated bachelor's degree with honors in physiotherapy. Automatically, everyone would be like, the only way was just to go and work in a clinic. But I felt like I don't want to work in a clinic anymore. I wanted something that is open. I wanted my world open. So I said, but I spent 4 years studying this course, and I graduated with a degree. So what I did is I said, I'm not going to work in a clinic. I spent a lot of time without working. But again, I said, I can't just sit down with my skills and my knowledge. So I started seeking like part-time job into teams, into with athletes. So I started working like that. I working as a physiotherapist for athletes, for teams. And again, I saw the Paralympic teams. That's when I said, this is the straight deal, because I believe there are people who are left behind. So I'll say to any challenge we have, we can find opportunities with them, and we can find better solutions. That's what I can say for now.
Thank you so much, Marie-Pierre, for sharing your experience. That's very amazing. Thank you so much. I have the same question for you, Diata. It also says that, have you ever turned a setback into opportunity? Please share the experience.
Thank you as well, Gisele. Like was mentioned, I mean, obstacles are inevitable. If you are a big dreamer, you will face obstacles and challenges. Unless you become complacent in life, if you're not facing any challenges, that is when you need to know that, okay, maybe your life has become a little stale. So then that's when you need to do something to get back into dreaming and building. So I would say two come in mind, but I think one that might be helpful for some people here, especially the entrepreneurs. So a few years ago, in 2021, my partner and I, for the business we were building at the time, we decided that we were going to stop after 4 years. So we started in 2017, and we had built a good model, but we were still trying to figure out how we were going to make money from it. But you know, I had a different idea or future or vision of where I thought we were going, and she also had a different idea and future of where she wanted to grow professionally. So basically, we decided we were going to stop, and for a few months I was I was hurt. I was really hurt because I felt like just when we were really starting to figure out, okay, how, like, what are the models we can change to start start making money. That was, I felt like we were getting to the point where we were really finding our footing, and then she decided to pull away from the business, and I allowed myself to feel sad for some time. I spoke to some friends. They connected me with um, people who I could speak with, who are are people who have either had to pivot or had to change directions. And in speaking to somebody like that, I got an epiphany. And which was that there was so much I had learned from the 4 years that we were running that, again, reframing, right? So being able to engage with people who will take you out of that thinking of this is a bad situation, this is a bad situation, to people who will make you see what is happening objectively. That's what the person provided for me. And basically, when we went through that exercise, I realized that yes, I learned some things from it. There were some skills that I had gained from that experience that um, I would like to build on. And it also made me realize that I would like to learn how to fix the problems I felt or were the cause of our business not being able to, let's say, make money in the 4 years that we were operating. So I started thinking about what the gap was in my skills, right? So that means that there was a certain skill I was bringing to the table that was not allowing me to get or to be able to achieve my goals. So basically, that was the thinking that made me realize, okay, I would like to go back to school and do my master's. And it also gave me clarity on the kind of course I would like to do, what I would like to, the kind of knowledge I would like to gain. Because master's program is a bit more focused, it's a bit more concentrated. And it helped me basically know what I wanted to do. So basically that experience of, um I guess separating from my business partner made me realize I wanted to go back to school. And basically, that's why I applied to CMU. And that was the only school I applied to because I knew exactly what I wanted and I knew where I was going to get it. So it gave me a focus that I was very proud and appreciated because then it helped me in my studies. So yeah, that's what I would say. What in quotes a setback, like I said, I feel like setback, even the name is not, again, you have to reframe it even, right? So something is a setback, you then you are assuming that it is holding you back rather than making you pause in your movement and really assess where you are, the things you might need, the people who you might depend on or might need. So yeah, that is my experience.
Thank you so much, Diana, for sharing your experience. It means that setbacks are not there for just for you for holding back, but it is there for you to pause and then think and rethink and then start again. Thank you so much for sharing that. The next is a question for Malithia. So I have a question for you. How have overcoming setbacks contributed to your professional and personal growth? Can you share some key lessons you have learned from the experience?
Uh, how has setbacks shaped me, my personal growth? I can't say like uh, as my colleague said earlier that they're really setbacks, and I can't say I overcame them because uh, every day there's a new thing that's happening. However, to what I have, to the challenges I have got in in the recent, in the past days or within the previous times, I would say they have given me the confidence, believing in myself that yes, you can do it. Yes, you can rely on yourself. I'm not promoting, to rely on ourselves only, but I always tell people that I am the only asset that I have. Yes, you are the only asset that you have. Only you. Why do I say only you? Because everything starts with me. Everything begins with me. So when I have myself, when I have confidence in myself, when I can rely on myself, when I can believe in myself that I can do things, that's when I say, yes, I have this. And overcoming those challenges or fighting those challenges and finding solutions has shaped me to be a person with confidence. I can't say, I'll fully be confident that I can surpass everything, but yes, I can be confident. But by that time that you're fighting, by that time that you're struggling with a challenge, you're finding solutions, you're finding a way out, or you're finding another way to do something. That's when you gain experience, you're learning, and that's how you develop that. You develop the confidence in yourself. And again, I would say it has left me with like I'll say I'm aware of myself. I know now, I'll say now, I know my strength, I know my weakness, I know when to seek support, I know who to seek support from. And I know when it can't be my only battle on me. I have to engage someone else. And it's not everyone has a support for you. No, sometimes, not even sometimes, every day, you need to be selective. There are those people who have that support you need, and there are those who don't at all. There are those who you can support yourself. So there's no way you are better of someone and then you will go for them and you seeking support for them. No, you need to know those people that they are into position of helping you out or encouraging you to do something. So that's what I can say. That's how my personal growth has been. I've developed confidence in myself. I have learned, I have developed a sense of being patient, of being persistent, like, and building the resilience we're talking about today. So challenges will be there, but finding solution is that something that you even feel proud. Wow, say, wow, this is me. You feel you're even surprised yourself that, is this me? How did I do this? Because at first you were scared and say, how do I do this? You felt scared, you felt giving up, but you fought and then you won. So that's the personal growth I have gained through that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I really love that. So you guys, I'm inviting you, just you try to build your resilience. You're going to get surprised by how your life is going to change. You're going to see a lot of things that is coming your way. Thank you so much, Marie Pierre. Um, Going back quickly to Diata, I have also the next question for you. The question is that one mindset shift or habit that help you to bounce back after the setback. How young people shift their thinking in difficult times. That's that question for you.
Yeah. I think in a way I would still like to mention a few things that we had spoken about earlier. Because if you're talking about mindset shifts, basically it's the way you think about yourself, and the way you talk to yourself. Those are like the two very important things that in mindset shifts I would say. So the way you think about yourself, it's in relation to what has been mentioned, right? Like, who do you think you are? What is your own idea of yourself? If you believe that you are somebody who is persistent and who will achieve, even regardless of the circumstances, then you know that, okay, then this is something that is just preparing you for for the future, for future goals. And when it comes to how you talk to yourself as well, basically it's, what kind of words are you directing at yourself? Are you telling yourself, oh, hey, I know this is not what we expected and this is not what we planned for, but better is ahead, right? So sometimes the habits we need to create are, around these two things. These quotes I shared with you guys at the beginning of the talk, I actually have as, stickers that I have in my room, right? So as I feel like there are certain things that you need to constantly remind yourself about, right? So if it's writing it somewhere, if it's posting it on your wall, I'm a big fan of seeing things that you want to think about, because if you are somebody who grew up thinking and talking negatively to yourself, it takes a while, and it takes the introduction of different contents, like Marie Pierre mentioned, that what you feed your mind, right? So when you put things around your space, you are helping yourself, basically, inputs positive content into your brain, right? So that is one thing I'll mention, that, it's easy to do. It does not require anything. It requires just you, and, recognizing, either when you are reading, when you are on social media, when you see quotes and things that people have written that you think speaks to you, and will get you motivated. Write them down and stick them somewhere you can constantly see, because they say that what a lot of the things that we see around us affect the way we also, think constantly. And majority of the time, probably more than 90% of the time, we are not even aware of the thoughts that are going through our minds. So I would say that, yeah, being aware of your thinking, being aware of how you are talking to yourself, and having reminders around you that will help you get out of that cycle of negative thinking.
Thank you so much, Diata, for sharing that. I love the way that you talked about the power of positive self-talk. So I don't know that I feel like this is going to be the takeaway for everyone, because we are what we feed our mind. So let's focus on what are we giving our mind, what are we talking to ourselves, what are we just feeding our body, are we just even if your thought is positive, at the end of the day, if you feel like you're having those obstacles, but you are going to be positive. You are not going to feel like this is an end. You are going to seek support. You are going to talk to everyone, but it all matters to the positive mindset. Thank you so much. Now, coming back to Marie-Pierre, I have the next question for you. Uh, I have here for you talking more about on the seeking support, having the supportive system. So I specifically have that question here regarding to the power of seeking support and the power of building supportive system. The question is that how important is to have a support system during the tough times? And what role did your support network play in helping you through the setbacks or bouncing back from the setbacks?
I hope I got this right. You're asking me how does it feel to have a support system and how often to seek support? Am I right?
Yeah, and even what does your support network help you when you are just bouncing back from the setback?
Okay, okay. Thank you. Uh, so thinking about how does it feel to have a supporting system, of course, I would say it's the best feeling ever. Why? Do you know if let me give you a small example. Remember when we were little, when we were still children or kids, or just realize the life of a child. Sometimes they are playing, when they are playing and one falls down, automatically they run to their parent, mother or father, and they are crying. So by that moment, what the child feels is like my parent, my mother or my father, they feel like is the most strongest person on this earth. They feel like they can punish everything that harms them. A child was playing and then they fell down. They feel like they can punish the ground they fell on that hurt them. So that's what it feels to me like having a support system. I feel like I'm loved, I'm comfortable. I have someone I can learn to when I can run to when things are not working the way I thought they will work. Someone who is encouraging me saying, keep moving. It works. You can do it. You can do that. You can achieve that. Uh, I was in a meeting with my colleagues at work when we were realizing the mental health at workspace at work. So I'll say people nowadays are no more encouraging us. So I say growing up is not good because when we were children or when we were still little, people used to encourage us. People will encourage you. You're complaining, probably I failed physics. I feel like it's so heavy. I can't do it. No, I know you can do it. My parents could always say, you can do it. You can always be the best of your class. I know you have good grades. So I always have that encouragement from my family. So it's the same as even at workplace or in real life. Like you run to someone, you tell them A, B, C, D, this has happened. Even though it happened, I tried to do this, but it didn't work. You feel like you're frustrated, you're hurt, you don't know what to do anymore. You feel like giving up, but they are there to comfort you. You feel like, keep moving. If you try this, it didn't work, you can do this. Someone is there to give you a push. Someone is there to make you keep moving forward. They want you to be better. They bring the best person out of yourself. So that's how the support system feels. And asking me when to seek support. Oh, wow. That's hard to tell because we are different. Sometimes I might feel like at this point I need support, but it's different from someone else. So what I can say is it all comes out when you are aware of yourself. Because when you are aware of myself, when I'm aware of myself, I know at this point I can't move on anymore by myself. At this point, I need someone to go with. So it's personal. I can't say it's generally, it's personal. So the only first step to take is self-awareness, knowing yourself, When can I go? When am I not able to move any further? So, when you have that, it's that's when you can start seeking support. But I don't think we need to be like you're totally stuck and then that's when you seek support. There's no reason of being totally stuck, because if you become totally stuck, then that means you're so scaling something. Probably there will be things that you're doing, but you're not doing them because you are totally stuck. So I encourage people to seek support when it's early. And when it's something totally new to you, it's very good to have mentors. When you have a personal mentor, like you talk to them and tell them a new journey that you're taking, that, I want to do this for me to achieve this. You talk to them, they are always there. Those are the people who will come. What is the progress? What are the challenges? What have you done to overcome these challenges? So when you have those people, there's no way you'll be totally stuck in your path. So that's what I can encourage people to avoid being, avoid being totally stuck, avoid having setbacks as we call them. So that's I would say that's even a seeking support. That's the support you have. You always have support. But moving on your own might be dangerous. I'm sorry to say, it's probably sounds harsh, but it might be dangerous. Why? Because there are new experiences and you will face them and feel like, because when you are planning for something, you don't plan the negative part. Of course, you feel like there might be some things that run out not as planned, but you don't plan for them. You feel like the path will be straight, straight to the point. I do A, B to achieve C, then it will keep on moving F to achieve G. But no, it doesn't work that way. But if you have a mentor, you have someone near you, they will show you the way, and yeah, you achieve your results and goals. Like you.
Thank you so much. What I have learned from your experience is that having the supportive system is a good therapy. You're gonna get encouragement, you're gonna get confidence, you're gonna get a lot of things from your supporting network. Thank you so much for sharing that. The last question for you is we're about to close up. So the last question for you that I have is about a kind of advice that you can give a person who is currently struggling with a setbacks. So if you were to give one piece of advice to young people who is struggling, who is handling a setback, what would be that advice?
Oh, well, that's okay. Since you asked me to, I'll say to everyone who is struggling here, avoiding like seeing setbacks or challenges as they are roadblocks. No, it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to realize, what am I not doing better? What can I improve? What can I maintain? And some things cannot be changed, and you will need to adapt how to live with them or how to go with them. And some other things can be changed. I'll give you an example of the things that cannot be changed. Because if I said some things cannot be changed and it sounded like we can't do a lot, but we can do a lot. For example, you are into farming, you are an entrepreneur and you do farming. You cannot change climate because climate change is everywhere and the impact is everywhere, the effect. But you can adapt your work to the climate. Probably you introduce irrigation, probably you introduce fertilizers. Those are an example of the things I said you cannot change them. But what I say to my fellow here is avoid seeing setbacks as roadblocks. No, they are part of the journey, and they are there to make you learn and to make you have experiences. We learn from them, and most of the times we gain opportunities from them. Then we grow either personally or professionally, and as well as we learn, that's when we achieve our goals, the main goal. Of course, remember, whatever you do, there's always the main goal at the top. If you change your way, if you introduce more goals, weekly, monthly, whatever, but there's the main goal at the top. So setbacks, they are part of the journey, they're part of learning, part of experience, everything. So what we can do is to avoid seeing them as the roadblocks, that they are blocking everything or they make us stuck, and seek support. Let's have personal mentors. People are there. There's nothing that is new that is happening to us. There are people who have passed through this, so we can seek support every time and we can learn from let me say, from the senior citizens. When I say senior citizens at my workplace, I'm in conflict with my colleagues because I always tell them they're into 35 plus. That's the age band. So let's seek support, let's have mentors, and let's avoid seeing setbacks as a long press. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We also have that same question for Diata. It's almost regarding to what kind of advice. So could you give to someone, young people is struggling with the setbacks? Just in 2 or 3 words.
Yeah, sure. Also, I will just add on to what has been shared. So one thing I would say, you can, so while you seek a mentor and you get advice, I would say, in addition to that, you also have certain things that, how would I say? I always, in my mind, I call it a mental toolbox. So have like a mental toolbox of steps you can take to get yourself out of a certain mood, right? So when you first get a rejection, you sink into a certain mood, and you need to find, or you need to have a list of things that you do to get yourself out. For me, some of that when I know that, okay, I got an email about rejection, automatically I go put on a certain playlist, because then there's a certain like up tempo that will get you a little excited. Maybe I send a message to a close friend, hey, do you have a few minutes later in the day to chat? Or there's a way, like maybe sometimes I journal. I write down like what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking, or sometimes I go on a walk, right? So again, based on what you know about yourself and how you handle different situations and the different situations that require the different actions you need to take, you can have those different things down. And as we mentioned before, as you are going through life and you are going through different experiences, when you overcome something, I think it's, well, you need to remember the kind of, let's say, setback that was. You have to think like a scientist sometimes. I think when it comes to the way you operate, you have to. So in like it was mentioned, the reason why you gain confidence when you overcome setbacks is that you know that if something similar like that occurs again, okay, this is how I react, and this is maybe how I solved it before, so maybe this is how I can solve it again. And it's always good to always, so the next time you face that problem, you know what to do. And that gives you confidence, right? So that's what I call a toolbox, right? So even if it's your friend that has shared that this is what happened to her, and then this is what she went through, that is another tool that you can add to your toolbox. So as soon as rejections come, you don't have to even wait to get into a bad mood. You know exactly the kind of things you can start doing, how to increase your energy. Maybe it's food. If you feel like you're one of those people. I enjoy food really much, so I feel like food is something that also gets me to, okay, it's not all bad. It's not all bad in the world. Maybe let me just take some time and breathe. So that's what I will add to that.
Thank you so much, Daika, for sharing that kind of advice. So I really loved that, and I hope that our participants are going to learn a lot of things. I think we are almost to the end of our event, but I have few more questions that have been raised by our participants. Maybe I don't know if the time is going to allow us. But the one more question is that this is the one has been raised by one of the participants. The question is that how do I get confidence in the life as I feel that I'm not capable what others are doing or achieved? This is the question that has been raised by the participant.
Can you
The
please
question,
read that question again?
the question is that how do I get confidence in life as I feel that I'm not capable of what others are doing or achieved?
Oh, okay. If I may, I'll say that the reason why there is not even about your incapabilities really is just the fact that you're comparing yourself to others. The fact that there's others in that sentence in itself is the cause, I think, of the problem, right? So to gain confidence in yourself, right, it's to basically build your what you think you're capable of. What you think you're capable of is totally different from what other people are capable of, right? So when you pitch yourself against somebody else or others, you've already set yourself up to not be confident, if I may say that. So I would say that learn how to improve on yourself without necessarily having to compare yourself to others and what others are doing on their journey and whether or not you think you fit the same standard as somebody else's life. We are all on a different path. We all have different dreams and goals. Sometimes your goals or your dreams might intersect with that of somebody you've met in your life, but it does not necessarily mean your destination is the same, right? You've just come to a point where you've crossed in your path. So just the fact that you are thinking about somebody else, you will not grow confidence in yourself.
Okay, thank you so much for responding to that. One more, the last one as we close up. So it's for Malipian. It's about how to bounce back from the failed business advantage when you have got only knowledge and the skills without the source of funding. Just responding to that with only two or more. Not that.
Sorry, do you mind repeating the question again?
The question is that how to bounce back from the failed business when you have only got the knowledge and the skills without the funding. I mean, yeah, that's a question.
Oh,
Just
wow. That's
people,
that's a
not just
hard one. That's a hard one. But I'll say, first of all, throughout our uh, uh how do I call this? We say that setbacks are an opportunity to learn. They are not roadblocks. So what I can say is this is not the time to give up. The best thing is you have already started. You can just sit down and analyze what has happened wrong, what went wrong. So what can you change at this time? There's always one discussion that goes around, people asking, everyone says we should start working for ourselves, becoming entrepreneurs, everything. But others say, how do we do that when we don't have the capital? Capital is always a problem. So, and we say, the way I go about this is you can begin a little. You can begin by working for others, seeking employment. At least you have a skill. If you are this person that, came out and you're encouraging yourself to start a business, you have a skill. So if you have a skill and knowledge, that is the number one investment. Remember, the first asset is yourself, and then now the investment is the knowledge and the skills you have. You can apply the knowledge and the skill, then the funding will come next. It's a matter of not giving up. It's a matter of realizing what went wrong, what can I change, what can I maintain. That's how I can say about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for responding to that. That's a good response. So I really love that.
I have one more thing. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll ask I'm sorry to ask here. Probably I'll ask Miss Akpene if we can connect because she's in Kigali. I'm in Kigali. Yeah, probably we will find ways to talk. Thank you.
Definitely. I think I will contact Gisele and find a way to connect with you from there as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we are going to close up because we didn't get much time to respond to more questions as our participant has been asked, but we're really glad that you all made this time to join us. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, our dear speakers, Maipie. Thank you so much, Diata. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Thank you, everyone who just dropped a comment, who just shared everything in the comment section. We love to hear from everyone. Thank you so much.
Beyond the skies, you and I